Let me tell you a story from my past. I thought I was a focused person. I worked for myself, I got things done, I thought I was disciplined. When I sat down to do a proper 4 hour deep work block, no phone, one task, no switching, I thought it'd be fine. I lasted about 25 minutes, and the worst part, I didn't even decide to stop. I just looked up and my phone was in my hand. No memory of picking it up, no conscious choice, just phone in hand, already unlocked. And keep in mind, I had no social media on my phone at the time. I was down bad just solving chess puzzles, texting people, checking my email. Why? Because I was already so bored of the work subconsciously that I wanted to break. I'm sure you've been in this situation before. We all have. Well, maybe not the chess puzzles part, but the rest of it. It's not always a focus problem. It's more of a habit so deep that you're not even aware it's happening. If you can't catch yourself picking up your phone, you can't catch yourself doing anything else that breaks your focus either. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what I found when I actually tried to track and fix my attention, and what's working now. This is part 3 of fixing my life like a system. So if you already watched the first 2 episodes in this series, you should already have your sleep fixed and mornings improved. Now focus is next. I'm Patrick, and these videos are a message to my younger self of lessons I wish I knew sooner. In this world full of noise and distraction, I want to help kind of filter this out so you can actually focus on what actually matters. Section 1. My focus was an illusion. Here's what I had to admit first. I'd been confusing being busy with being focused. I sat down at my desk for 4 to 5 hours and felt like I worked. But if I'm honest about what actually happened in those hours, maybe 90 minutes of it was real work. The rest was just switching, checking things, thinking about work without actually doing it, coming up with new plans, or going down a rabbit hole for 2 hours, opening a million tabs, or watching more videos on how to do the thing instead of actually doing the thing. That's not focus. That's just the illusion of focus. And the output reflects it. There's a specific feeling when you've actually been focused on something versus when you've been near it for a few hours. Real focus is tiring in a satisfying way, kind that helps you get a good sleep at night. Fake focus just leaves you feeling strange, like you worked for hours but with nothing to show for it. This is usually a sign if you aren't making progress and taking tangible actions that you can actually track, you might want to rethink things. Section 2. What I actually tracked. So before I tried to fix everything, I spent a week just tracking. Every time I took a break to check my phone, opened a new tab to watch a video on something, or just broke my focus for a bit, I wrote it down as lag time. Breaks between actually taking action, so when I started and how long it actually took me to get back. The number of interruptions was bad, but what was worse was the recovery time. Every time you break focus, it takes an average of like 16 minutes to regain that focus again once you get back to work. So a 30-second phone check wasn't costing me 30 seconds, it was costing me about 15 minutes of actual productive focus. I was doing that multiple times an hour and taking multiple short breaks throughout the workday, but with the loss of focus, it adds up. Do the math. You realize you could be sitting at a desk for 5 hours and getting maybe 90 minutes of real work done, which explains a lot about how I was feeling. Busy, but never finished. Working, but never ahead. Oh, it wasn't about how many hours I was putting in. This is another variable we'll talk about in another video. Working more hours will help you get more done. No shit, but if you can't work productively for 3 to 4 hours to start, there's so much higher ROI on fixing this first. That's why I've made these videos in this order. But for now, it's about how fractured those hours actually were. It only takes 3 hours of actually doing something every day to change your life. The hard part is consistency. Everyone has heard this before, but what does that actually mean? Well, hard equals consistency. Consistency equals doing the same thing every day. So the hard part of consistency is doing the same thing every day on the days you don't want to do it. Doing the boring, unsexy work when you don't feel like it. That's what hard is. Section 3. Why the environment wasn't enough. I've already done the environment stuff from the Brain Rot series. The 80-20 of that is just set your phone to give you as little dopamine as possible, so notifications off. YouTube blocked or social media blocked, whatever is distracting you, just try to reduce this. And then for the sleep one, waking up and going to bed at the same time every day to set your circadian rhythm so you're ready to go. And this helps a lot, for sure, but it wasn't enough on its own. Because the habit of switching tasks was so ingrained that Even without using my phone being the main distraction anymore, my brain would just find something else. Open a tab or check my emails. Get up and go do something else. The switch wasn't about the phone specifically. The phone was just the most convenient way for my brain to get dopamine. Take it away and your brain will find another way, I promise you. Which means fixing focus isn't purely an environmental problem. It's a training problem. Your brain has been rewarded for switching so many times that staying on one thing for a long stretch genuinely feels uncomfortable. Not difficult, but uncomfortable, like you're supposed to be doing something else, or you want to, right? That discomfort is what you're actually fighting. Not distraction, but the discomfort with sustained attention and focus. You do need discipline to sustain your focus, but we need the systems to make that as easy as possible, so it requires as little discipline as possible for it to actually work. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your goals for how long you want to work for. You're going to fall to the level of systems that actually allow you to keep working and not get distracted. It's much better to use your discipline to actually stick to the system itself rather than trying to fight an uphill battle with a bunch of other factors working against you that you aren't actually in control of. Section 4, the deep work block attempt. So I set it up properly. 4-hour block, one defined task written the night before, phone locked down, put it in another room if you need to, laptop on, task open and ready to go. Timer running. For the first 20 minutes, genuinely good. Locked in, making progress, feeling good. Then the discomfort starts to creep in. Not from an external distraction, from inside. Like your brain starts generating things to think about or other things to do. Did I reply to that message, or should I check that on that thing? Did I do my laundry or fold it, right? What if I just looked at this really quickly? And the voice is relentless. It doesn't stop. It just keeps offering you exits. And the first time you take one, even a small one, the block is effectively over because now you've broken that agreement with yourself. You're conditioning yourself to not focus for a long time. It's a muscle you have to build up, like in the gym or waking up early every day. You don't just go in the gym and start repping out 315 on the bench press, or flip your sleep schedule to 4:30 a.m. and stick to that for the rest of your life. So why would it be any different for this? Track how long you're actually able to work from the start and try to incrementally beat this from where you're starting from. Don't compare yourself to other people online, but what you're genuinely capable of right now in this current moment. I failed the first 4-hour work block every single day for the first week. Not dramatically, I wasn't scrolling for hours, but I broke focus multiple times every session. And each break just made it easier to break the next one. Section 5. What actually started working. The 4-hour target was wrong for where I was starting. It was like trying to run a marathon when you haven't run in years. The goal isn't wrong, the starting point is. So I dropped it to 90 minutes. One task, timer on, nothing else open, no exits, and I treated this discomfort as the work. Not a sign I needed a break or a signal to do something else, but just that feeling that comes when you're training your attention. It's like working out the muscles in your mind, if you will. So, same as how your legs hurt when you run further than normal, right? You get your shins and your knees, ankles, all that. That's not the problem. That's the adaptation happening. A few things that actually made a difference. Writing down one task the night before, not just in the morning, because in the morning you'll negotiate. Previous night, you was already decided, so it's easier to do it that way. And starting the timer before I felt ready, because if I wait until I felt ready, same problem as waiting to feel motivated. And committing to not checking anything until the timer ends, not just try to not check, but actually commit to not use it as a non-negotiable. The moment it becomes optional, it's going to stop working. And after 2 weeks of 90-minute blocks, I ran a 3-hour block and it was genuinely fine. Not easy, fine, but that's progress, right? Section 6. What this is actually training. Here's what I keep coming back to with this. Deep work isn't a productivity technique per se. It's more of a cognitive capacity, like a muscle you build. The ability to hold attention on the hard thing for a sustained period. It's a skill that degrades if you don't use it and improves if you do. Most people have been training the opposite. Short form content or constant switching, notifications every few minutes. That's attention fragmentation on repeat, right? Like every day. And then when you sit down to do something hard and wonder why you can't focus because you've been practicing to not focus. I talked about this in my brain rot series, which what consistent scrolling does to your ability to sustain focus and attention. This is the flip side of that. What building it back actually looks like and what I would do if I had to start over. It's not quick, not dramatic. It's just showing up to the 90-minute block even when your brain is offering you 20 reasons to not do it. It'll seem good when you're watching this video, but what are you actually going to do tomorrow morning when you got to start the work, right? Here's the thing I want you to take from this video. Your inability to focus for long periods is not a personality trait. It's not who you are. It's a trained response to an environment that's been specifically designed to fragment your attention, which means it can be untrained. Not easily or overnight, but it's not something that is out of your control to change. Don't be a victim and take a high agency mindset for this. And the people who understand that and actually put in the reps to build it, they end up with such a massive competitive advantage that most people don't even realize is a skill. Because most people just accept the fractured attention as normal. It isn't. It's just common. Remember, take consistent action on your main thing and don't stop. Peace.